This is the site on land originally purchased in 1846 by speculators from Aberdeen in Scotland and named the Bonnecord Mine. Mining operations were abandoned in 1849 but recommenced in 1858 when the mine offices, blacksmith's forge, carpenter shop and manager's residence were erected. An engine house containing a second-hand 50-inch Cornish pumping engine from the Burra mine was also erected but demolished in 1887. No economic ore body was discovered and mining ceased in 1862. In 1908, pumping equipment was erected on the main shaft and supplied Burra's water until 1966. At the Bonnecord Mine Museum, we also found these glorious old motors from the days gone by. Perhaps fires burnt a bit more slowly in 1922 than they do in 2017. If not, then either it was pointless or modern firemen just like racing around with sirens blaring. The children were having great fun, every boy's dream with a 2.9 litre engine and a top speed of 72 kilometers per hour, roads permitting. The second fire engine, which was also a Diamond T, probably best known for producing trucks and used extensively by the Americans during World War II. There was also an exhibition of old coaches and carriages, and it was lovely to see these. It's just such a pity that they have become derelict. With Adelaide some 170 kilometres away, must have been quite a journey. And what a ride it must have been with these horse-drawn carts. I would imagine that this wagon is similar to the old bullock carts which we used to transport the ore. Some old cottages in Tivers Row which are still used as residences today. In 1856, James Tivers, a stonemason at the smelter, built the first of these cottages for his family, reminiscent of the Cornish heritage of this part of town. Erected in 1856, the Red Roof Gull was the first gull in South Australia outside of Adelaide. It provided capacity for 30 prisoners, male and female, and this is one of the exercise yards. Punishment in the 19th century was more severe than today. One boy in 1874 was sentenced to 1 month with hard labour in Red Roof Gaol for breaking a window in Paxton Square, which is in Coringa in Burra. Many spent time at Her Majesty's pleasure in Red Roof Gaol. Courtesy of excessive drinking, the drink was the commonest cause of crime during the life of the mine. In 1897, the remaining prisoners were transferred to Gladstone Gaol, and it was renovated and opened as a girls' reformatory, which finally closed in 1922. Paxton Square cottages were built by the South Australian Mining Association, the Snobs, between 1849 and 1852 to encourage the miners to leave their dugouts. There are 33 cottages in the complex and today are private residences and holiday accommodation. They were leased to the miners for 3 shillings a week out of an average wage of £1 5 shillings. A well was sunk within the boundary of the square to supply water for the tenants. Furnishings would have been a lot more basic than what we saw within the museum. It is hard to imagine that a miner on his meagre wage would have been able to afford all the stuff that we saw in the rooms. These cottages have been well preserved and furnished with the period furniture, and it was interesting to see what it looked like in Australia at that time. With the rapid influx of miners into the area, accommodation quickly became in short supply. The miners provided their own by digging into the clay banks of the Burra Creek and its tributaries. These are all single-room places with an internal area of around 4 by 2 meters and with no real standing room. Favoured by the miners as these were rent-free and close to water, and by 1850 there were close to 2,000 people living in the dugouts along the banks of the creek. In 1851, about 1,800 people out of a total population of 4,400 lived in the nearly 600 of these dugouts. 1851 saw 3 floods devastate Creek Street, driving the inhabitants from their homes. By 1860, the dugouts were virtually deserted and people had moved into residences in places like Paxton Cottages. This is one of the more luxurious units and had a front room and a back room with a chimney for letting the smoke out from the inside open fireplace. As you can see, this one is actually quite a large construction, with a large inside area and 3 rooms.